This is a breaking news alert. The United States, under Donald Trump, has just launched another massive round of attacks against Iran. This round of attacks, even far more extensive than last night. The United States CENTCOM also announced that Bahrain participated in these strikes with the United States, of course, making Bahrain a further target, which they already were based on its cooperation with the United States in terms of retaliatory strikes from Iran. Donald Trump has been posting AI images and also actual video bragging about these strikes in Iran. For example, Donald Trump just posted, "This is in retribution for yesterday's bombing of ships by Iran. If it happens again, it will get much worse." And of course, you know that Donald Trump and CENTCOM had been violating the MOU that the Trump regime entered into with Iran by trying to open up an alternative southern route near Oman in order to have the tankers avoid the IRGC route, which the MOU says that Iran administers the Strait of Hormuz. Let's go through what happened with real video of what actually took place, real images of what actually took place. So these U.S. airstrikes were reported in 6 Iranian coastal towns so far. Actually, you could add Jask and Abu Masu Island to it as well, so maybe 7. Bandar Abbas, Keshem Island, Bushehr, Chabahar, Sarik, and Konarak. This follows yesterday Trump regime attacking Iran in some of those coastal cities, killing at least 8 individuals in Iran. The Trump regime claims they're IRGC. Iranians claim that at least some of them were fishermen. We'll show you this footage right here, B-roll, showing a destroyed traffic control tower at the Shahid Bashiti Pier in the Chabahar port. You see that right here. Here's another image of that tower. Here is more video right here from the Kalantari port in Chabahar, Sistan, and the Balkistan province right there. CENTCOM has put out the following statement, and I'm going to show you some of this video where you could hear the noise. At the direction of the Commander-in-Chief, U.S. CENTCOM forces have started conducting additional strikes against Iran to further degrade their ability to threaten freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz. The United States is holding Iran accountable for recent unjustified aggression against commercial shipping and civilian crews freely navigating vital international waterways, or a vital international waterway. Well, when you look at the Memorandum of Understanding, specifically paragraph 5, that the Trump regime signed after losing in the initial catastrophic war against Iran, you gave Iran the right to administer that. That was part of the defeat by the United States. But the Trump regime's plan from the outset, as Donald Trump has done his whole life, is to never honor the agreement, but to use the agreement to try to lure the other side into negotiating in good faith and then sucker punching. We'll show you right here this video as U.S. forces bombed Iranian targets in that city of Chabahar tonight. This is the first time this area has been hit since the so-called ceasefire agreement. Let's play it. Also, American airstrikes hitting Iran's Bushehr IRGC barracks tonight. That facility is ablaze. You can see it right here. More videos and pictures from Bushehr, Iran. Let's play A. Now let's play the next one, B. Iranian military officials say all bases that were involved in tonight's aggression against southern Iran in other countries, whether that's Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Kuwait, wherever, will be targeted. Without exception, Iran says that there will be a massive military response. Iran state TV reports that massive strikes are about to be forthcoming from Iran against U.S. military bases. Iran is very aware right now of the dire economic situation that the United States is in, which our corporate news covers up here for the Trump regime. But as we've been reporting now for months, but definitely we've been highlighting it for weeks, Eric Nuttall explains the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve is now 19 million barrels away from estimated minimum operating levels. There very soon will be no longer any safety buffer to protect the world from further losses out of the Strait of Hormuz. Also, the Pentagon has run out of money. As I reported earlier today, the Trump regime is now demanding over $350 billion in order to fund the Pentagon in an emergency appropriations, up from $67 billion because they've already run through $1 trillion appropriated to them this past year. They now want $1.5 trillion additional dollars plus this $350 billion supplemental because they can't pay their bills. The Pentagon has become another Trump bankruptcy. So Donald Trump has decided to escalate this already catastrophic and unlawful and disastrous war filled with Trump and Netanyahu war crimes at a time where the United States has hit tank bottom of its strategic reserves and is out of money for the Pentagon, and the MAGAs in Congress refuse to do their job and are not even in session. Iran is undeterred from yesterday's attacks. They're undeterred from today's attacks. I'm sure in an hour and a half, I will be covering Iran's massive response, which I also believe will include shutting down the Strait of Hormuz yet again. And I also think they will consider shutting down Bab el-Mandeb Strait through the Houthis in Yemen, and that's the strait by the Red Sea. Iran has other options at its disposal as well. A lot of the fiber optic and internet cables that connect the Middle East to the rest of the world go right through the Strait of Hormuz. They're unprotected. Iran controls that area. Snip, snip. They can just cut that, and that would cause a massive, massive economic issue for numerous companies that have a presence in the Middle East, which would affect our business in the United States a lot. Yesterday, we saw at least 40 IRGC Navy speedboats into this morning after the Trump regime's first attack on Iran yesterday, which again resulted in 8 individuals in Iran being killed. Iran has also released footage showing that it shot down a U.S. MQ-9 Reaper drone in the Strait of Hormuz. Each MQ-9 Reaper drone cost around $35 million, and they've already shot down dozens of these, maybe even over 100 of these so far. And I'll show you additional footage of these fires in Bushehr after the U.S. attacks. Let's play this clip. I'll show you another one right here. Now, this is what JD Vance said moments ago via the White House press pool on Iran. JD Vance said, "We came into this situation with maximum leverage and maximum strength." I'll just have to fact check everything he says in real time because every word is a lie. That's not true. You all declared a unilateral ceasefire in April after Donald Trump threatened to blow up the entire Iranian civilization, which, by the way, he reiterated today. Then you begged for the MOU. Then you entered into the MOU, which agreed to the Iranian terms by and large, and the Iranian terms as they relate to their nuclear file would only be addressed after the United States fulfilled its other obligations, including $300 billion in a development fund to Iran, including withdrawing Israeli troops from southern Lebanon under Netanyahu and a full ceasefire there. But the U.S. breached every step of the way. Then Vance goes on to say their nuclear program was destroyed. Their conventional military was destroyed. And you've got some people within Iran's system who are saying, well, we want to change our relationship with the United States. I think all of that is absolutely false. Iran's conventional military was not destroyed. Their nuclear facility, if you claim it was destroyed, you said you did that in June of 2025 in Operation Midnight Hammer. But most credible experts say that the material still exists. Why else would you need to even negotiate over their nuclear file if you say you've totally obliterated it? And then you say that there are some people who are saying we want to change our relationship. I think there is always a hope that there could be rational people in the United States, but clearly Trump and you are not one of them. And Iran never trusted that you were actually going to comply. That's why they built the MOU with this laddered approach where the U.S. would have to fulfill its obligations. And the U.S. never did that. And in fact, immediately breached within a day of entering into that MOU that Donald Trump held up in Versailles. Then you have Vance go on to say, well, here's the basic deal that we cut. The basic deal we cut was lift our blockade if you stop shooting at ships. But if you shoot at ships, we're going to punch back, and we're going to punch back harder than ever before. That was the deal. They said they would stop shooting at ships. And what happened 24 hours ago? They started shooting at ships again. Pause. This is what really makes me very angry about the Trump regime. And it's hard for me to say this as an American. That's not what the deal said, JD. You know what the deal said? What the words on the deal say, right? As a former lawyer, as a former litigator myself, I can read the terms. I could read what they say. And it's obvious that the Trump regime breached every aspect of this MOU immediately, tried to immediately get leverage that they cannot do in the MOU itself and that they cannot achieve in their catastrophic war against Iran. And so you all said, let's do an MOU and then we'll try to just replenish our munitions and then we'll attack Iran. Then we'll open up our own lane and that's how we'll do it because we couldn't achieve it in war. Well, Iran still has a lot of cards to play. And they haven't played the Bab el-Mandab Strait card, which they may do soon. They'll certainly play the Strait of Hormuz card. You are fundamentally creating this fraudulent world the same way you think you can paint the reflecting pool blue, and then that all of a sudden everything just miraculously goes away. Like Trump said with COVID, like a miracle, it all goes away. You fundamentally don't understand what's happening in Iran. And it was staring you in the face when tens of millions of people showed up at Ayatollah Khamenei's funeral, not just in Iran, but also in Iraq. They're not deterred by you bombing their coastal cities at all. And in fact, their people there, who the hardliners, are even more galvanized now as a result of this behavior, these violations of the MOU during the Ayatollah's funeral. And then JD Vance goes on to, the president maintains a lot of options. That's why we see gas prices starting to come down. Okay, what you've done in manipulating the oil market for crude is not what people are actually seeing at the pump. And guess what? The price of crude's about to skyrocket past $90, and it'll probably get close to $100 a barrel again very, very soon as a result of the Strait of Hormuz likely being closed. That's what's going to happen right now. And then, of course, I don't have to remind you of all of the absurd things that Donald Trump was saying. I'm not going to play the clips because I don't even want to hear Donald Trump speak, but Donald Trump was asked, oil markets are up today around 7%. So what's going to happen? Oh, they'll drop hard as a rock soon. They'll drop and everybody's great. Affordability. It's a made up word. People have never been richer in the United States. I showed you those videos of what he said. Utterly deranged. Donald Trump said, also, he was asked by a reporter, the Iran war seems to be a strategic dead end for you. By the international reporters ask good questions. Why are you apparently unable to end the war? What are you talking about? We won. Their navy's gone. This is gone. Their missiles gone. Their missiles are gone. Everything is gone. They're begging. They're begging to do a deal. No, they're not. They're literally not. You all begged to do the MOU. You all entered a unilateral ceasefire. We all saw it. And yes, you may have regime media in the United States propagandize for you, but the reality is not what you say it is. And the reality is that we are heading into global economic catastrophe. Most Americans already feel it, but that's where we are right now. And I'll just remind everybody again what the scenes looked like in Iraq today. After showing you the scenes from Tehran and Qom, this is what it looked like in Iraq, in Najaf. And Araghchi said the following. He's their foreign minister and one of their top negotiators. Millions of proud Iranians rallied in unity to honor the Grand Ayatollah Khamenei and his legacy. Neither them nor our brave armed forces are moved by any threats. Paragraph 13 of the MOU is clear. Negotiations on final deals will not commence if threats continue. Honor your signature. And then Araghchi goes on to say, addressing the civilized and courageous nation of Iran with derogatory language does not diminish its greatness. Iranians are known for their civility, culture, and strong moral values. We do not answer vulgarity with vulgarity, but with action, fearlessly and with great valor. Meanwhile, Donald Trump was posting boom, kaboom. He literally posted kaboom, boom. And then he posted videos of attacking coastal cities of Iran. So folks, things are escalating very, very, very quickly right now. I've been keeping us all posted. Oh, by the way, those AI images that Donald Trump are posting are also images that were old and AI enhanced as well. So you can see what they previously looked like. Not the videos are real videos. The photos that he posted are not real photos, but we'll keep you posted every step of the way. Hit subscribe. We need to get to 7 million subscribers. We need, seriously, as a community, help us grow because we need to get accurate information out to more and more people. And that's what we'll continue to try to do here at the MeidasTouch Network. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.